Hello everyone, my name is Dhruv. I am an intern at LEXIS and Company, and today in this video we would be discussing burden of proof under the Evidence Act. So the burden of proof and our section 101 under the Indian Evidence Act states the burden of proof, which further states that whoever desires any court to give judgment as to any legal right or liability depending on the existence of facts which he asserts must prove to those facts exist. Now when a person is bound to prove that the existence of any fact, it is said that the burden of proof lies on that person. Now let's take a small example here, that A desires a court to give a judgment that B shall be punished for a crime, which can be any crime, which says that A says that B has committed that specific crime. Now A must prove that B has committed the crime. So in this case, the burden of proof lies on A, that he should prove that B has committed that crime or not. And if A proves that yes, B has committed that crime, then yes, the court is there to hold the B liable. Now taking on another example, that A desires that court should give a judgment that he is entitled to get certain land in the possession of B by reason of facts which he asserts and which B denies to be true. So in this case also A must prove his existence with the help of those facts, that he is entitled to get that certain land. And also the burden of proof lies here on B. Now we would be discussing that on whom burden of proof lies in different case scenarios. So according to section 102 of Indian Evidence Act, it says that the burden of proof in a suit or proceeding lies on that person who would fail if no evidence at all were given on either of the side. Now taking a small example, that A sues B of land which B is in the possession and which A asserts was left to A by the will of C, which is B's father. So in this case, as B's father made a will, as C's father made a bill, so we will say that if no evidence were given on either side, B would be entitled to retain his possession. Therefore, in this case, the burden of proof lies upon A, because he must prove that he is entitled to get the possession of the land or not. Now going towards another example, that A sues B on a money due which was entitled for a bond. So the execution of the bond is admitted, but B says that it was obtained by fraud or by force, and which A denies. So if no evidence were given on either side, A would succeed, as the bond is not disputed and the fraud is not proved. Therefore in this situation the burden of proof lies upon B. So moving forward, that burden of proof also revolves around towards a particular fact. So according to section 103 of the Indian Evidence Act, the burden of proof as to any particular fact lies upon that person who wishes that the court to believe in its existence, unless it is the person provided by any law that proof of fact shall lie upon that particular person. So this can be understood by a specific example which says that A prosecutes B for theft. So now according to A, B is liable for theft, and A wishes that the court to believe that B had admitted the theft to C. Now in this case A must prove the admission, and B wishes that the court to believe that at that time in question he was elsewhere. So either A must prove it for the B's existence, that he committed the theft, or B should prove it that he was elsewhere and he didn't admitted the theft. So on both A and B burden of proof lies, and both of them must prove in their respective areas. Now burden of proof also revolves around the fact with specifying knowledge, that according to section 106 of Indian Evidence Act, that when any fact is especially within the knowledge of any person, the burden of proving that fact is upon him. So we can understand this, that when a person does an act with some intention other than which the character or circumstances of the act suggests, the burden of proving that the intention is upon him. So in this case also the burden of proving lies around a specific fact. So also we can take another example, a general example, that A is charged with traveling on a railway train without a ticket. So the burden of proof that he had a ticket is on him. Whether he had it or not, he has to prove it. So this was all about some of the circumstances and some of the examples to understand burden of proof. Further we will be discussing it later. Thank you.